Hi guys, my name is Wyatt Whitaker. I'm a senior at Cal Baptist, and I am a sports med major with a concentration in, or kinesiology major with concentration in sports medicine. I'm set to graduate in December, so I'm pretty excited about that. But basically, what a strength and conditioning coach is they're the guys in the weight room training specific athletes to, get stronger, faster, and conditioned. So in the future, when they compete, they're at their peak optimal performance level, and in return, makes the school look good. I wanted to work at the university level only because I can relate to them, a lot easier than I can at a youth level. And then ultimately, I do want to one day work at the professional level, preferably with baseball because that's the sport I'm most familiar with. So let's get started. So the first thing is there's two of the big associations that most of the athletic trainers, physical therapists, strength and conditioning coaches that they all are a part of. The first one's the National Strength and Conditioning Association. It is going to encompass strength and conditioning coaches, trainers, and basically anybody passionate about furthering in the industry. There's seminars that are up in there that let you know when there's meetings. Just because the medical world is always changing and always updating, and especially one like the strength and conditioning, it keeps you up to date on new ideas, new equipment, and new workout philosophies. Benefits for joining, like I said, there's an online library full of multiple articles, videos, interviews to keep you up to date, and as well as discounts on regional, local, and even national level events with big name speakers just to help further your knowledge. And it's pretty cheap. As a student, it's only $65 a year, professional $120, and then once you're certified, it's a lot more just because you're open to a lot more stuff on there. The second is the ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine. It promotes and integrates scientific research, education, and practical applications of sports medicine and exercise science to maintain and enhance physical performance and quality of life. Very similar to the other one. And benefits for joining: digital subscriptions, like I said, event discounts, very similar. And then you also, on this one, you have voting rights to charts and courses for future exercise science and sports medicine. There's actually one coming up soon after the new year in February in San Diego. So if anybody is interested in that, they can actually go. And this one's actually cheaper than the NSCM, as you can see on the prices there. Job trends. So I looked on the BSL, and average salary is about $47,000 a year, ranging all the way up to $100,000, depending on your location and where you are. University level is typically lower, and professional level, there's some guys in baseball, football that are making $250,000 a year. And then there's 14,500 numbers of jobs in the U.S. just because of how many universities there are and how many sports teams there are. Most schools need multiple trainers for sports. All right. And then scholarly preparation. Necessary degrees to become a strength and conditioning coach is a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, exercise science, or human performance, or any other related field in that. And then it's preferred to have a master's or a PhD. To become strength and conditioning certified, it is a CSCS degree or certification, and that's a test taken once you have your bachelor's degree, and once you pass that test, it's okay. The two schools I looked up were the University of South Carolina, because I was interested in going there. I have family out there. Bachelor's degree is required along with 39 hours of extra credit hours, and then hours of thesis. And the University of Texas, which is where my current employer went. And very similar, a bachelor's degree is needed, and expected competency in areas of human anatomy, exercise physiology, and biomechanics. Then upper division electives that are helpful for strength and conditioning. By far, behavioral aspects of sports. KIN 454. That class in that book is basically centered around the CSCS test, which is what I've been told. So that couldn't only help you more. KIN 383, which is exercise physiology. I took this with Professor Gillum, great class, and it taught me really, everything on a molecular level of how the body works, especially when exercising. And then, applied movement anatomy is always helpful to know in the background. And then this class, Foundations of Kinesiology, just to get the bigger, more broad, picture of everything and how everything correlates and, gets brought back together. All right, so before I move on to this, I want to talk about my interview. I interviewed Jason Kwan, who is currently the strength coach at Cal Baptist, and I'm currently interning with him, so I was able to easily get an interview with him and talk to him, and it was a great experience. I learned a bunch, way more than I've learned in any other shadowing I've done with physical therapy and all that other stuff. He said it's a tough market to get a job, just because it's so compacted, and it's really hard to maintain that job because, if you don't have your athletes performing well, it's not going to look good on you. So it's a job where you always have to keep pushing forward and moving forward, or, you could be in a lot of trouble. He said it's great hours and great benefits from the team. For example, he was able to go to Scotland with the golf team of Stanford back when he was working with Stanford, and all paid expenses, and he said it was a great experience. All right, so moving on, I'm going to do the scholarly study of strength and conditioning. I did psychology, just because, especially working with college level athletes, there's a lot more going on inside their head than, most people perceive to think. And, they've got school on top of everything. So, if they might not be focused in the weight room, maybe it could relate to, if they're struggling in the classroom or have a big test coming up, that's something you really need to focus on and make sure they're okay with and stay up to date with their teachers on. And then I chose the picture of Johnny Mansell because a lot of these athletes are focused on, getting the paycheck and making it to draft day. But, you need to keep them centered on, being in college and focusing on their schooling and, the team they're on now, and not get ahead of themselves because that can end up hurting them in the future. Qualifications to help me, I'd say, are interning right now. I'm interning with a strength coach, like I said, and it's just helping me get my name out there and learning to know if I really do like it, which I really am liking it right now. I need to start thinking about graduate school, though. I have not started with that. My goals right now are to do my CSCS certification after graduation and then start looking into graduate programs and doctorate programs. I need to start setting myself out, putting my foot in the door. I am not joined in any national organization, which I should change because, being able to go to those seminars and keeping up on those journals is only going to help me personally stay up and active and, up to date with everything, just to, help me, be ahead of the curve, what I could say. And, right now, having 2 jobs, interning, it's really hard to get a lot of volunteer work in. But, we're young. My dad always says, work hard now, volunteer while you can before, you start having to worry about building a family and, a career. Which leads into Christian perspective. Lastly, I chose the word character which is good qualities that are esteemed and respected in a person. Biblically, the fruit of hardship approached in faith, what God etches in your life through suffering. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. This is not an easy field to get into. And I don't know about you guys, but, the life I've been brought up in has been, full of struggles. And this has just been, the answer to me. I think, this is my purpose. And, might not be easy for us, but, there's a reason God put us in this position, and we know that we can do it. And then lastly, I chose stewardship, the conducting, supervising, and managing something. As strength and conditioning coaches, we are supervising and managing multiple athletes all the time, making sure they're staying safe, they have proper form, because they could really get hurt out there. And, it is not okay, and it goes bad on us if athletes do get hurt. So, we need to be good stewards and, not only make sure they're safe out there, but make sure they're acting good lives outside of the weight room, and leading good lives. And yeah, so that is my presentation. Thank you, and see you guys soon.